Oh, hi, Michael. This is calling from. I noticed that you and I connected on LinkedIn. Did I, by any chance, reach you at an okay time?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Well, I'm very glad that you and I are able to connect. One of the reasons why I wanted to connect with you was because I wanted to see if you, well, here today we are looking to create a network where we can refer business. Wanted to see if maybe this is something that you would be open to being a part of, and just to see if we can lend ourselves as a resource to each other. What are your thoughts on this?
We're not really looking to spend time in any partnerships like that.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I did notice that you were actually connected to our CEO. I wanted to see if you would be open to setting up a call with him. Can I ask, have you ever connected with our CEO, Eric, or is it just, or how did that happen, I guess?
I have no idea. I don't know the name.
Okay. Well, if anything changes or anything like that, definitely feel free to let me know. I was wondering if you would be open to referring anyone who's in a similar line of work as you, any sales trainers who you think would be interested in being part of a referral network. Any particular names in the industry that come to mind?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for connecting with me, Michael. Okay. Bye-bye.
Here are 3 takeaways and lessons that we can learn from that cold call example. And the first is that you can pick up the phone and call your LinkedIn connections. And regardless of how this salesperson did, I give her a tremendous amount of credit because after we became connections, she picked up the phone and called me. And I have been a LinkedIn user for, sadly to say, over 2 decades with thousands of connections, and every day salespeople invite me to connect, and after we connect, they send me their product selling, product pushing email, and they never call me. I can literally count on 2 hands how many times in over 20 years one of my LinkedIn connections has cold called me. And that's probably because it's very easy to shoot off your product pushing email, but if you want to pick up the phone and cold call a LinkedIn connection, it's very uncomfortable to try to push your product. And that's understandable, and the solution for that is don't cold call and push your product. Another option you have is to call your LinkedIn connections with more of a networking message and a networking cold call script, and this is what that could look like. Hello, Tom. This is Michael Halper. We recently became connections on LinkedIn. Hey, did I catch you in the middle of anything? Great. Well, the reason for my call is that I try to learn more about my LinkedIn connections to try to see if there are any opportunities for us to collaborate. But I don't know if you're interested in building new networking relationships, and that's why I'm reaching out. Are you open to scheduling some time over the next few weeks or month or so where we can talk a little bit more and learn about each other? Not only is this cold calling approach more comfortable for you, should be less intimidating, but this cold call approach will likely be more productive in terms of creating real results than you using a product pushing type of approach. But getting back to this cold call example in particular, one thing that we could improve on is how this salesperson tries to close the prospect and what she is actually closing for. Because in her cold call script, after she explained what she's doing or what she's selling or what her value proposition is, she went for what I would refer to as a quick close. And instead of actually closing for a meeting or talking more, she closes the prospect on buying what she's selling by saying something like, wanted to see if that's something you would be open to being a part of. What are your thoughts on that? Now, as I've talked about before on many other videos, this is what most salespeople do. Even if they can't close for the purchase or take the order right there on a cold call, they still close for the purchase by trying to validate interest. And this is selling the product. And what she could do is, instead of trying to sell the product, simply sell the opportunity to talk more, sell the meeting, sell the next step in the sales process. And that could look something like this. But I don't know if that fits with what you're wanting. Are you interested in just having a brief conversation to learn a little bit more about each other and see if there are opportunities for collaboration? And not only is that something that's easier to try to close for, it's more realistic that the prospect will agree to simply talking more than to agree to wanting or needing what you sell after just a couple minutes of a cold call. And the third thing that we can reflect back on is the objection that came up and how she responded to the objection. And the prospect basically gave her some version of I'm not interested by saying that he's not looking to invest in those types of partnership and alliances. And she responded to that with a response that I would probably categorize as more of an attempt to overcome the objection by saying something like, I appreciate that. I see you are connected to our CEO. Wanted to see if you'd be open to a call with him. And I recommend that you try to stay away from trying to overcome objections on cold calls for many different reasons, all of which we go through in our objection handling training module. But what I recommend you do is deflect the objection to keep the conversation going. And you can usually do that by asking a question. And what that might look like, I appreciate that. But could I ask you real quick, how important is it for you to get more referrals than you're currently getting? How do you feel about the number of referrals you're getting? And do you currently have any referral type of relationships with other businesses or other providers? Now, what you would do here is you would just ask one of those, and then the prospect's going to most likely give you some sort of answer to that question. Might not be a great answer, might not be what you're looking for, but after you get an answer, then you have a couple options. You could ask a follow-up question based on the answer they gave you. You could move down this list to ask a different question, or if you do end up getting a good response to one of your questions, you can use that as a justification for closing the prospect on talking more in the form of trying to set an appointment, sell the meeting, sell the conversation. Now, I do recognize that it's easy for me to play Monday morning quarterback and point out the things that she should have done, and that cold calls are really fast, and it can be hard to know what exactly to do in all the different scenarios that we can find ourselves in. And we've actually created a tool to decrease that challenge by helping you to practice your cold calls and practice all the different scenarios that you are going to encounter, called Sales Simulator, which is an AI version of a prospect that you can practice your cold calls with. You can practice your calls being answered by a prospect, by a gatekeeper, or jump right into practicing your objection responses. So let me show you what this looks like.
Hello, this is Mary.
Hey Mary, it's Michael Halper. How are you?
Doing okay, how are you?
Doing good, thanks. Hey, are you guys purchasing paper products today?
Actually, I am not sure.
Are you the right person to speak to about paper products?
That would be Michelle Wilson.
Okay, could you transfer me over to her?
May I ask what this call is in regards to?
Well, we help companies to reduce their costs for their paper products.
We have an internal program.
Okay, how's that going for you?
Everything is going pretty good.
When was the last time you looked at decreasing costs?
A few weeks ago.
And who did you look at?
I am not sure I can share that with you.
Okay. And the great news is that you can actually try our sales simulator for free with our 7-day trial that you can sign up for on our website, and I'll put a link to where you can find that in the description below. And that is pretty much it. If you want more information, the best place to go is salescriptor.com. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.